Hello everyone and welcome to another MASH session, and I'm delighted today to be joined by Steve Quah of Cheerful 21st and his new appointment, Hannah Luffman. How are you doing, Steve?
Fabulous. Thanks, Marty. Thanks for inviting us on your MASH session.
No worries. And Hannah, good to see you again. How are you?
It is good to see you too. Yes, I am very well. Thank you. Delighted to be with Cheerful 21st as Strategy Director.
Great, and it's great to have you there as well, I'm sure. Steve, can you just maybe give us a bit of an outline, really, as to what Cheerful 21st is and does? What sort of service do you provide your clients and who are you working for?
Sure. We're a creative brand experience agency, specializing in live primarily, but with a big moving image and a bigger growing digital part of our business. Work globally. EMEA, US, and Central Europe, obviously, is kind of our core sweet spot. I guess we're a full service agency, working with big global brands, particularly in the tech sector and professional services sector and media sector. And we win lots of awards. So thank you.
Certainly do. Now, we're in these very strange times right now, and I know we can't do these big all-encompassing predictions of where we might be going, but I'm just curious for both of you, really, what are your kind of thoughts on the current state of the events industry? Is this a sea change? Steve, maybe I could start with you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, under the big umbrella of Marcom services, anyone doing anything with a live element has had the massive disastrous shock of the century, literally. And if you said there was a big red button with COVID written on it, would reset, and it's just been smashed. So that is the reality. The opportunity, I think, are huge, and I think as a state of the industry, it's parking the human tragedy, which is terrible. That it's a reset, literally, as I say, and the value of creative ideas and the value of what an agency does, and actually what agencies of the future need to do in adding value to kind of comm solutions will come back again, as opposed to putting an event on. So we see a massive opportunity going forward, and being kind of, aware and having to fast track things that may have been discussed over the last couple of years to do with digital and virtual and that stuff, and being forced into it. But as a creative agency, that's what we like. It's a challenge, and we're excited and actually very optimistic. I'm sure Hannah kind of echo that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hannah, I'm curious. I mean, do you think this is the moment where the events industry perhaps is almost reborn?
Yeah, I do. And I think, to Steve's point, obviously, aside from the more tragic side of the situation, I think it's a really exciting opportunity. And I think this kind of move, with me becoming strategy director and for a lot of agencies, we're going to see really strategic and really integrated approaches from agencies. So I think where we've been outstanding at delivering live experience and events or virtual, I think we're going to see that agencies are involved in a longer piece of the marketing mix. So they're getting involved a little bit earlier in what's happening from a comms, a strategy, a PR and a messaging perspective, and they're looking at that kind of post-event content. So I think we're going to see a lot of agencies doing that more integrated approach, maybe some interesting partnerships. But I also think that the thing about resetting as well is that people come back to the things that really matter to them. So what I think is really exciting is things where we've been trying to push them as tier one agendas, like sustainability, inclusivity, diversity, all of the issues that needed to move to tier one but we were struggling with. We've kind of had this reset now where they're going to become intrinsic in what we're delivering and what agencies are saying. So I think that the current state is still in we're still kind of mid-crisis, and it's still a very, very difficult time for a number of reasons. But I think the push forward will be the reset that ultimately we probably will find that we needed.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. So Steve, coming back to you, obviously, you've been busy getting some new staff on the books, which is great to see. How do you think the new hires, Hannah and the other guys you brought in, are going to impact your clients and offerings?
Well, I mean, to echo what Hannah was saying about strategy, engagement, and kind of treating the kind of holistic comms process as a bigger campaign approach is something that we've been doing, all creative agencies have been doing by default, but not overtly actually selling that service for us as Cheerful 21st. And I think Hannah joining that is kind of leapfrogged that kind of skill set, particularly with the rest of her team. Fresh blood. I've admired Hannah. I thought when I've looked at her past work, that was kind of where I wanted my agency to go to on certain aspects. And we are planning for the exit from COVID. And that means the agencies that will survive have to adapt really quickly. It's actually not size. It's not how much money you've got in the bank. It's like how quickly can you adapt? Okay, and I've known Hannah before COVID, so obviously there's a mutual respect there. So it was just a great opportunity for both of us to kind of say, well, we've been thinking this, now we can do it. Back to that reset button for all the right reasons, because we were migrating away from pushing on events to comm solutions, digital engagement, behavioral change, learnings, etc., and getting a lot of cut through from that. But we just needed that acceleration point, and that's why I'm with great talent and great team. But secondly, now clients are really understanding, going back to why they're doing this, which is great for a creative engagement agency, not an AV production agency, and nothing against those guys. They will come back because they still want to use you guys, but that's just pushing us going forward. And also a signal to the industry, we're hiring where most people are not hiring. We acquired another agency 5 weeks ago, Eventful, so we are preparing for this. And to be honest, it's a preparation that we started in our cycle probably 12, 24 months ago anyway. So COVID has kind of accelerated that, as Hannah was saying. And out of adversity comes opportunity, and we're pushing that forward.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I mean, like I say, it's great that you're actually out there employing, but what considerations are you taking to protect your staff, kind of like new and old? It's not always about the clients, you've got to look after your team too. At the end of the day, they're the ones who make the magic.
Yeah, look, although I'm a listed company, my values as the CEO are staff first, client second, and shareholders latterly. Whereas most other organizations that are public, it's really the opposite way around. I tend to after 35 years of doing this business, people always ask, what have you learned? And I think what I've really learned is about people. I'm a trained designer, architect, whatever. But so they're our most valuable assets. They're going to drive our business forward. But going back to your point, we are financially in a healthy position. We are strong and robust. We're a profitable business. So we give that, security blanket. But we are furloughing people. We are, looking at kind of reducing our costs. But to look after our staff is to be about doing good work and getting business. That's the best thing we can do. That's the best thing we can do for any agency. Then the rest follows in that order. If you're cutting your costs, which everyone's going to have to because there's no work, but ultimately we see there's actually a lot of work. We are really busy at the moment doing comms and virtual and hybrid, and we're scaling up actually. And going back to Hannah and the team's appointment, a big part of that is also retraining some of our guys or upskilling them on the comms side going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, Hannah, I know you touched on this a few minutes ago, but what changes are you sort of hopeful for in this new era of events? And being at Cheerful 21st, you're confident you can make a difference yourself.
Yeah, I think firstly, one of those things is that employee skill set and upskilling, because I think one of the difficult things about this situation, and for me personally and for wider with the agencies, is making sure that our employees and our team understand that they have to be great at their job, if that's project management, production, and what it may be. But we're also starting to really need all of our employees to have a commercial skill set, right? So we're really starting to see, do you have the ability to see opportunity, and then do you know how to act on it or how to pass it through the agency? So actually there's kind of this wider skill set as well, where moving forward, we're going to need everybody to have an element of commercial understanding, an element of strategic awareness, because we all need to make it clear that we're contributing to our agency's success wherever we may work and to our business success. So I think we and the industry will have a responsibility for making sure that the teams that we have with us after this are kind of, taken through that skill set, and Cheerful 21st do that really well with taking care of people. And most of their team have been there, some of them longer than I am old. So job at developing people in that way. But the other thing, like I say, is, you know, the sustainability agenda has been hot for a lot of reasons. Because it's really, really important and it's the right thing to do. But I also think this reset, like I said, is making people understand that it's a differentiator for them as well, to really understand it and behind it, not just to put it on creds, but to really kind of embody it as an agency. And then it filters down to those other important things. You know, I think one of the really exciting things about business is understanding that the work from home model can work, is that we will see a better flex on maternity and return to work for women and for mothers. So I think the best thing that the industry can learn from this is that the balance on the personal life, where we've reset and we're all baking and doing yoga and going for long walks, actually translates really nicely to business, because ultimately what we're trying to reset is back to the values that matter to us. And that's going to be our agency approach as Cheerful 21st. Is, of course, we're great at delivering events and we'll do integrated comm strategy, but we're also good people and we're a good place to work. And that's why I think we will see brands wanting to engage with us.
That's a really interesting point you kind of touched on, really. And I think it kind of leads almost to the next question. So Hannah, I'll kind of stick with you on it. I mean, do you think we're going to see more agencies maybe unifying, consolidating to not just get through this, but to actually, you know, bring about a stronger product when we emerge and the so-called real world returns?
I do, and I think that's really exciting. And I think, I think we should be open to that. You know, it doesn't always need to come from a sad place for agencies to want to partner or to work together. It's about strengthening skill set. And all of the MDs that I know at the moment are evaluating what their strengths are, but also where they need to fill any gaps that they have. And that's where they're making those commercial decisions. But back to kind of the point on culture and working with the right people, I also think it's really important that, you know, I have the benefit of having known Steve pre-COVID, is that you still work with the people that you would have worked with regardless of this situation, because otherwise it's going to show, right, in our client communications to our team, to our employees. So we need to make sure that the partnerships are started with people that we want to work with and that are really complementary, but then also after that, it makes good commercial sense, and it means we can be stronger together. We can deliver more for our clients. We can potentially protect some, if not all, of our team members better because we're in a stronger position. So I think that we will. I think it's exciting. I just think we, as you would if there were any other M&A situations or softer partnerships, you would want to do it from a culture first basis.
Steve, do you reckon we'll see more consolidation? And I guess I'll chuck in as well. What do you think's next for Cheerful 21st? What does the future look like?
Well, I mean, I think it's important to merge and acquisitions out of distress. I don't think are great mergers and acquisitions. Okay. And neither case was a distress as an eventful. And speaking to Hannah before, it wasn't a distress situation. It was because we came together for the right values, for the right reasons, and the fact we could achieve something together. It was all pre-COVID. COVID just kind of accelerated that for different reasons. But you know, you can't ignore commercials and economics and survival. And I think there will be absolute consolidation. I think there'll be more transparency and honesty in the marketplace. I think that needs to be. If you're brilliant at something, say you're brilliant at something and partner with someone else. And, you know, I think there is the fact that we still love live. Okay. You know, the live part is still in our DNA, and may that come back. It will not be the same. Okay. It's just woken up everyone to kind of the three, there's more jargon, there's the bubble, the 360 degree, but you know, the integrated, but the audience engagement being a holistic approach for one piece of communication that everyone has the same experience at the same time, depending if they're at home, in a hotel, on an island, or in a car. I don't know. So that's the ultimate game. But specifically, there will be agencies that will have to merge or wind up, and it's a bit of a rinse cycle. I think it will put the value back into what an agency should be doing, and if you survive through that, therefore you're a good agency, and if you're not, then you're not as good. And then for Cheerful 21st, we're still a small agency, and that's part of our beauty. You know, we are small but highly valued, great brands, award-winning multi-agency. We're up there with all the big guys, playing with them. We want to be lean and mean. But we're open to opportunities, and then as and when they arise. But right now, we've got actually probably almost too much to think about now. With Hannah's team joining, we've got a lot of planning to do, and specifically we're planning the next 12, 24 months. And what's that going to lead? And lead with that, and lead that with our clients, and be leaders in that, because that's the exciting bit, and that's the opportunity. And I speak again with other colleagues, and similar agents have the same viewpoint. So there is a massive, we're not the only guys, there is a massive shift going forward, which puts a value again to relationships, clients, but ultimately what you do makes an impact. It makes a difference. It's not because it's a great show, which we do, by the way, and we love doing a great show, but did it make a difference to that person's brand, business, internal comm strategy, whatever? And that's a delight for us, because I think we were being undersold and unrecognized, particularly in a live world. Whereas maybe the above the line world, or the more pure play PR guys, got more value than what they said. So we are going to switch to what we say is more valuable than the fact that the lights revolve and the stage is green. So that's my round. I was going to add to that, Hannah, as a final thought.
To close on that, Martin, with the state of the industry, exactly like Steve is saying, I think what would be interesting is previously where we've seen, mergers and acquisitions and formal partnership models, I think that will see a break for a while, because, like we're saying, because of the current situation, a lot of businesses are not making mergers and acquisitions, they're not making partnerships, but we might see, so in this case, strategic hires. This is just a case of making strategic hires that better complement the agency. We might see other things that are less formal. So I think it's about encouraging individuals, whoever they may be, to think about those strategic things rather than worrying about if there's something more legal from an M&A, from a partnership perspective. Maybe it's just making the right move. So I think not to do all the industry brokers out of business, but I think we might see some softer things happening that actually don't have a formal partnership behind them, but still make commercial sense.
Sounds good. Well, you sound like you're both going to be phenomenally busy, so I'm going to let you get back on with things. So Steve, Hannah, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone else, we'll see you next week.